afternoon, and welcome again to PhilCare's Mental Health Webinar Series. Now, before we begin and proceed with our topic for today, I think it's just right to thank, first of all, our viewers for the last 2 weeks, because you have all been actively participating, especially in our week 2 of this webinar series. In fact, we reached thousands of views and more than 100 shares and comments for 2 consecutive weeks. So thank you guys so much. Maraming salamat po. I am Kaki Teodoro, and I am thrilled to be back here again and ready to start the 3rd installment of our month-long mental health webinar series. Well, today it's all about charging the mental battery, or understanding burnout in the remote work setting. You know, last week we focused on how parents can get some me time, diba? Despite having to work from home and help their kids with distance learning. So this afternoon, we will talk about how employees can effectively manage work-induced stressors such as job security and the status of the economy. We'll also touch on how they deal with uncertainty over their own health and the health of their loved ones. You know, I feel like this talk is coming at a perfect time because I don't know about you, but I feel like since pumasok ang Burr months, lalong nadadagdagan yung trabaho week after week. So when I saw this topic and it's happening today, even ako as the host, I was so excited because I need this, and I'm sure you need this as well. And we're so excited to bring this to you. And that's also why this PhilCare webinar is happening now, so we can feed ourselves with important information that we can use to take care of our mind, of our heart, and our spirit. Well, not just of ourselves, but also our loved ones. So, to learn more about this webinar series, let's welcome Sir Raymond Tiangco, PhilCare's VP Head for Sales and Marketing, for the opening remarks. Hi, Sir Raymond.
Hi, Kaki. Good afternoon, and welcome again to all our viewers for this week. This is our 3rd installment of our MindCare webinar series. And like Kaki mentioned, again, this is something that's a very, very relevant topic right now, understanding burnout in the remote work setting. So for us, we've been working from home for more than 6 months now, and you can really feel that burnout creeping in. In fact, in the survey that we conducted, the Community Quarantine Wellness Index that we did, over 66% mentioned that they do have a good work-life balance right now. But surprisingly, 49% mentioned also that they're having difficulty sleeping, or that their sleep habits change this community quarantine. And also another 46% mentioned that they found it difficult to concentrate during the community quarantine. So these are actually signs of burnout. So now, with our very qualified panelists and speakers who will be joining us later on, we aim to shed some light on these topics and help us cope with this burnout that we're all feeling right now. So without further ado, I'll turn you back to Kaki to introduce the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Raymond Tiangco. Well, you know, he already mentioned that we have an amazing group of speakers today, and I cannot wait to introduce them to you. You know, in fact, here with us today is Counselor Teofilo Lajarca Jr., or Coach Phil from My Golano Philippines, Inc. Coach Phil is a licensed wellness counselor. He has over 11 years of counseling experience and has obtained his BA in psychology, his MA in counseling, and MA in education. He is also a certified life coach, family and marriage coach, mediator, and radio broadcaster. He is currently one of the co-hosts of the popular weekly program Heartline, airing at 7:02 DZAS AM radio. So say hello to Coach Phil. Hi, Coach.
Hello, Kaki. Good afternoon to everyone that's listening. Good afternoon to you and to everyone right here. How are you?
Hi, Coach. Ayan, dahil yung coach, parang namimiss ko ate yung gym, nasabi ko tuloy, wellness instructor kayo. Malay natin, kayo rin ba ay nagtuturo ng mga workout, ganyan?
Ako, malayong-malayo yung katawan ko doon.
Well, you are helping us out more because you are helping our mind and spirit today. And I really look forward to what you will be sharing with us this afternoon. And I'm sure our viewers din po.
Yes, I'm very excited for this time. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for PhilCare for having allowed us to share talents and skills for this. And all that.
Maraming salamat po. Coach Phil will also be joined by the charismatic Mr. Miyo Briones. He is currently working for a finance company in BGC and is also on a remote work setup. So he is on the same boat as all of us. He is the man behind TakeOffPhilippines, a local travel, food, and lifestyle blog. Hi, Miyo!
Hi, Miss Kaki.
I would like to invite you to say hi to your viewers, especially yung mga followers niyo po sa vlog na kasama natin this afternoon.
Sure. So, thanks, Miss Kaki, for that awesome introduction. I really do appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is okay with their own home. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank PhilCare for inviting me on this webinar series. And yeah, I'm excited to share with you my experience and give some advices about our topic for today. So please watch out for that. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Miyo. So, alam ko excited na tayong makinig because we really need this right now. In today's episode, let's learn about how employees can handle their worries brought about by the pandemic and the sudden work from home setup. And also, before we begin, we encourage everyone to type your questions sa ating live chat or sa comment section habang nakikinig tayo dahil after the talks, we will answer your questions sa ating Q&A. And you can share this episode to everybody because we all need this and even host a watch party right now. Sharing is caring and I am sure marami po tayong matututunan. So, to begin this episode, let's hear it from Coach Phil.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaki. Well, to those of you who are viewing this episode right now, I'm very happy na naandito kayo. Probably just like what Kaki mentioned, marami sa inyo ang hindi makatulog. And just like what has been told to us, mayroong report about ang dami-daming nahihirapan matulog, nagkakaroon ng stress, and you just have to keep juggling a lot of things during this period. But 7 months have gone and there's already a track record of what you've already accomplished. For the past 7 months, I'm sure you've already seen what is the level of worry you will have to make. Yung iba doon sa mga inaalala natin ay medyo nag-reduce na dahil most of the things that we were worried about ay hindi naman nagkatotoo lahat. Yes, mayroong mga nangyari pero not everything was what really happened. So at least the least that we could think about right now is yung the worst case scenario is medyo lumayo na tayo doon, malayo na. But today, I'll give you four things that will really help you as you adjust to the difficulties of the pandemic and of the things that we're going through and with any kind of crisis you will be encountering. And if you got questions, just let me know so that we can clarify all things. Let me begin with the first one. The first thing that you have to remember is that you've got the capability to recharge your mental battery by exploring the capacity of your mind. Okay, during the past 6 months, you probably have explored your financial ability. Lahat ng mga kaya nyong gawin sa katawan, kaya nyong gawin sa inyong mga physically and those things. But then you have an emotion that's struggling inside. You have a feeling, you have a mental state that's really struggling. Hindi na ito katawan, hindi na ito physical, hindi ako tawag doon, bodybuilding coach or anything. But you probably have a very good build right there and it's not yet enough. Here is your capacity of the mind. I want you to understand you can interpret your circumstances and it's the way you interpret it that makes you capable of seeing it in a different perspective. Now, there are so many difficulties in life, the interpretation is important. How do you make it easier? Find a connection. Connect it with those good things. Like, for example, your track record of accomplishments from the past, it gives you a sense of confidence of how you will manage the future or how you connect the ways that you have created success from before, you can connect it to successes in the future. Maaring at the moment, stagnant lang, pero your success will also get connected there. Associate this with past memories and your current beliefs. Dahil it's very important that when you have a current belief, these things will be established further by the things you have experienced before. Like for example, maganda ang iyong pakikitungo sa iyong kapwa even before. It still works even now. It still works even with your family, even in the middle of difficulties. At a different level, hindi man kayo magkasundo financially, pero magkakasundo kayo emotionally. And psychologically, nakakaroon kayo ng tulungan. You know, being able to understand your capacity means you know that you have the capacity to create and select decisions. You can create a roster of effective things to do. You can identify what is significant for you. Ano ba yung mga bagay? Pagdating ng pagkahuli-hulihan, at the end of that day, you ask, what is the most significant thing that you can do? The priorities of your life, your mission, your vision in life, should it be stopped by this pandemic? I'm sure you would like to say, no. No, it will not be stopped by this difficulty. And that's where you start creating insight and gives you the freedom to formulate action plans because you are capable of action plans. Nagkaroon man ng crisis, pero malayang-malaya ka pa rin gumawa ng mga action plan. Pipiliin mo na lang yung mga action na pwede mong gawin at gagawin mo yung lahat ng pwedeng gawin mula doon sa limitation nun and you can progress and grow further. That's where you also realize that from the experiences before, you have already restored things that have been broken, and that's restoring your basic functions and healing. You learn how to adapt, you can measure what's important, and most of all, you can do role play. Let's say you're in a difficult situation. You try to remember somebody you know who can handle that, or you try to imagine yourself being that somebody na ginagawa at minamanage yung problema niya. For example, you might have a person in mind like your father. Ano kaya gagawin tatay ko kung ganito? And then you can start role-playing. That's a capacity of the mind. All these things I'm sharing you, it's just the mental ability that you have. It's always been there, hindi yan nawawala. Ano man ang mangyari, you have the capacity of your mind. And you can go and restructure yourself for the adjustment of the stressful situation. So kung halimbawa, hirap na hirap ka sa work from home, eto, gamitin mo to. Meron ka mga kapasidad na pwedeng gawin para ma-prioritize mo yung mga gagawin, time management, gagawa mo ng setting up your own space and creating boundaries between you and the family and the work that you have. You can create that. Okay? Let me tell you something more. The second thing would be when you want to charge your mental battery, learn self-care. Okay, self-care, importante to. Alam ko iba sa inyo gusto manood ng sine, pero wala pang sinehan ngayon. At siguro may ibang nagbubukas yung mga drive-in sine. Yan, mga pang self-care yun. Don't worry, there's a good chance na talagang mababalik yun. So, konting tiyaga na lang. Self-care would mean including you will have to organize yourself. You have to be capable of decluttering your space, decluttering your mind. Alam mo kung ano yung importante na alalahanin. Alam mo rin na yung lugar mo, pwede mong iayos in such a way na eto, magkagulo man ang buong mundo, pero etong lugar na to, organize ito para sa akin. Do that to your workspace. That's also self-care. Now, do some exercise. Thank you, Kaki, for reminding me about that. Gusto ko rin mag-exercise na mas mahaba pa. Yes, I want to do that. And you want to do that. Go ahead. Nothing's stopping you. Kahit hindi ka pwede makalabas, yes, you can do it at home. Do something while you are doing at work. Nagaganong ka, total, naka-online lang naman kayo. You are doing some weights. That will be very helpful. Meditate, especially on existential themes. Things like, what's your purpose in life? What makes you go? What makes you motivated? What are the things that makes you go want to wake up to do the next things in line, the things that you need to do? Bakit ka gumigising sa umaga, hindi lang dahil sa kape, kundi dahil sa mission mo sa buhay. It makes you determined to do what you want to do. And there's that spiritual restoration that you need. Naalala nyo kanina, pinaalala ko sa inyo yung mga bagay na dapat ninyong natatandaan. From your personal life, yung memories mo from current beliefs, integrate mo ito. That's the spiritual restoration. Yung mga bagay na nagpapatibay ng iyong spiritual belief, that's very good. And go ahead, keep on restoring it. It will help you right now and in your future. Now you need to be aware about yourself also. Magkaroon ka ng self-discovery. One of the things that we can do is we can step back, look at ourselves. Ano ba ako? Ano ba ako sa tingin ko? Ano ba ako sa tingin ng iba? Ano ba yung nangyayari sa akin? Kung i-imagine ko yung sarili ko, nang tinitingnan ko yung sarili ko sa pagkakataong ganito, ano ang itsura ko? And you will discover a lot of things about yourself. You are more than just a physical body. You're many more. Many more things that you can probably become. And that's when you start exploring possibilities. This is a time that you can rest. You can do some recreational things. Dun sa bahay, cooking might be a recreational thing for you. Yes, spend time. Spend time for things that give you life. What are the things that give you life? Yung mga bagay na nagpapasaya sa'yo, kapag ginawa mo, napapangiti ka. It might be as simple as pag nag-playing song ka, or it might be as simple as watching a telenovela, a Korean movie, whatever. Those things that makes you able to rest. Ayan, self-care din niya. Okay? So, again, the first one was to have understand the capacities of your mind. Second is self-care. The third one is resiliency. Okay, a little bit about resiliency. Ang resiliency, ang magandang description niyan. You know yung bow and arrow. Yung bow, hindi siya matigas, hindi rin siya madaling masira. Pero yung bow, dahil resilient siya, magaling siyang gamiting weapon. And that's the kind of resiliency we need. Yung kawayan na yumuyuko kahit bagyo, pero tumitindig pa rin siya pagdating naman ng tag-araw na at wala ng bagyo. That's the grit that you can show. Now, to any one of you, if you feel that you're that weak, no, it's not true. You are capable of grit. You're capable of creatively thinking. That is, pwede mong i-readjust yung mga bagay para maka-adjust ka doon sa mga pangailangan mo. You can modulate your emotions. For example, maaring madalas kang magalit. Pero meron kang pagkakataon na pwede mong sakatin at iangkop yung galit mo para sa tamang pagkakataon at sa tamang panahon. For example, take time to meditate on what appropriate anger should you show a child, a toddler, a teenager, an adult, and someone who did a crime. And you will see there are many different instances. They will have to be different in their intensities. And that's when you modulate your emotion. Kapareho pa ba ng galit sa isang taong nagnakaw sa'yo kumpara dun sa taong mahal mo? And then you will see that iba yun eh. May angkop, kaya modulate mo ang iyong emotion. Ganun din sa pag-iyak. Would you cry the same way as when an earthquake happened? Or just when a pandemic happened? Or when someone you love was gone? Or you had a heartache, a breakup? Or when you lost your cell phone? Or how about something like natapunan ng kape ang iyong damit? How much of that would be the intensity when you come to crying over those things? And then you will be able to understand merong appropriate lang. That's when you modulate your emotions. Now, when you talk about confidence and weaknesses, challenge yourself. You come to that point, you say, ano ba? Nag-pandemic, nagkaroon ng workplace difficulty dahil kasi nagkaroon ng work from home situation, ang hirap. Challenge that difficulty. You will say, ito lang ba ang magpapa-weak sa akin? Bibigay na ba ako dahil dito? And that's when you start building your confidence. Can you allow yourself to be really overrun by this? What if in the future there was something worse? So ito pa lang, you're being overrun na. It's much like performing on stage. There are times you don't want to perform on stage because you will be afraid of having 10 people watching you. But what about if there were 100 people or 500 or 1,000? That's when you challenge yourself. See for yourself, you are able to do something big. And you don't want to be limited by that. One of the other ways you can do it is by fortifying your purpose, and then you don't become afraid of what's coming in the future. I like this part. You identify your role model. Sino ang role model mo? Role model mo si Abraham Lincoln, artista, someone na kilala, someone na matibay, a great leader like Winston Churchill, o siguro a leader like Apolinario Mabini, all those things. They become ways for you to understand how to adjust to things, and you can be resilient. And most of all, when you want resiliency, go to evaluating your values. Darating sa point, ano yung mga importante sa'yo? Ano yung inaaprubahan mo? Ano yung mga bagay na tunay na mahalaga sa'yo? Nandadali mo to the very end. Things that should not be changed by anything that comes by, even with this kind of situation. So work from home is also integrated with what we are feeling. So that's why your resiliency happens, because these things take role, they take play in your daily life. Finally, number 4, the fourth thing I would like to share with you, and this is very important. Madalas sa work from home, lumalampas ka sa nag-overtime ka nang hindi naman kailangan mo na mag-overtime, o kaya masyado ang hindi ka nakaka-sure kung napapagkatiwalaan yung mga tao, parang sinosobrahan mo na yung pag-meeting. Meeting na lang na meeting, wala nang nagagawa, mga ganon. So, it's more of planning but less of acting. And then you will understand, if you have your empathy right there, you will understand some things don't have to be crossed. And that's where your boundary setting should take place. Don't go into risky engagement or behaviors. You need to know your boundaries. We tend to exceed or try to exaggerate our actions because we want to make sure our expectations are met. Pero remember, that's kind of risky because expectations may not be measured. In fact, ngayon kapag online ang trabaho, ang hirap mag-set ng mga expectations and boundaries dahil maraming bagay ang hindi tugma doon sa inyong setting, maraming bagay hindi tugma doon sa time and schedule, space, facilities, maraming kulang, pati yung mga research na resources mo, hindi mo maabot, wala nasa opisina ka sila. Those things, and then you know that you do not have to exceed those expectations. Don't engage in those things. There are things that you have to say to your boss, and you have to say, boss, no, hanggang dito lang po. Meron mga bagay tayong hindi gagawin. So if still, we finish at 5 p.m., boss, okay? Let's all do some work from 8 hanggang ganito, pero we finish at 5 p.m. So may time naman ako sa aking mga anak, sa aking mga sa asawa. And you gotta remember, boss and employee, kapag nag-online Zoom kayo ay welcome o kumbaga bisita lang din kayo sa kanya-kanyang mga bahay. Ikaw din naman bilang empleyado, bisita ka lang din doon sa kanya-kanyang mga opisina. So in much the same way, we are visitors of each other. And there is high respect and regard for each one. We respect each one and all those things. Iyon ay magandang bagay. Now, it's important that you have some assertiveness training kasi dito sa kultura natin, madalas tayong mahiya. Ang hirap makipag-usap kay boss, mahirap makipag-usap kay supervisor, mahirap makipag-usap dahil kasi bago makipag-usap, magsiset ka pa appointment ng Zoom meeting, ang hirap-hirap nun. Medyo i-assert mo lang, kaya ko. Pwede ka naman kausapin. Hindi naman masama makipag-usap. Pwede ka naman makipag-usap ng maganda, masaya, may humor, gano'n. You assert yourself in such a way, you know exactly. You're putting together all those wonderful, beautiful capacities that you have. So don't be inhibited when you grow. These things make you grow. Pandemic makes you grow. Relating to people in a different situation, it makes you grow. And when you exercise your boundaries, you understand how it expands and how you can go and exceed it by allowing certain parameters to happen, and then you expand your boundaries too. For example, kapag meron kang kasunduan sa inyong meeting, nabibigyan mo ng leeway yung ibang tao na medyo mag-expand ng kanilang boundary. At ikaw din, na-expand din ang boundary mo na kahit magkaroon kayo ng buguan, it's just okay, no friction meant. And then everything is just fine. Set partitions in time, space, action, and health, even in your own privacy. Okay? Meaning, pagka para sa bahay. Now, pwede mo kausapin yung mga kasama mo sa bahay. Sabihin mo, mga anak, magtatrabaho ako ha, dito lang muna kayo sa kwarto, and then daddy will work. But during break time, I can go and let's play, After work, we will do something. In the end, on the weekend, we will do something very enjoyable. And then you will see, ang dami-dami mong kayang gawin. Have something for your health. Come on, it's not always healthy to know problems and solve things in the office. It's also healthy to enjoy what you solve, what you have done. Have a healthy autonomy. Yeah, we all need that kind of autonomy wherein we take care of ourselves. Self-care, remember. And please communicate with influence. Now, it's different when you communicate formally. Communicating with influence is you are sharing values with other people. You're sharing the same thing with people who needs it the same way. And you allow others to exercise the same kind of boundary setting as you want everyone to do so. And when you communicate influence, yung mga values ninyo, nasishare ninyo. Nabibigyan yung pagkakataon na pagtugma-tugmain ninyo yung mga kanya-kanya ninyong mga kagustuhan. Now, I'm pretty sure you've got many questions in mind. There are so many things, but the mind is a very, very complex and so many things to explore. And I want you to understand these are just you can discover more, and I'd like to go and answer your questions about these things. For now, eto lang muna, okay? When you feel burnt out, and you really can't handle it even if after all these things have happened, you can go and seek counseling. Seek someone, a friend, a person who you look up to, yung tinitingala mo, yung makakapagsabi sa'yo kung ano pwede mong improve. Or, if you want to evaluate the totality of what is happening in your life, you can go to a counselor. I'm a counselor, and our team at Maygolana can go and help you with counseling. Here at PhilCare, you also have a chance to get that service. And I understand more of these will be told to you by Kakai later on. Well, Kaki, thank you very much. I hope some of our people will come in and give their feedback, give their questions too. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Thank you so much, Coach Phil. Grabe, busog na busog po tayo sa information, sa dami ng shinare po ni Coach. And I'm sure marami rin po tayo napaisip tayo, napareflect tayo sa mga pagkakataon kung saan, ay dapat pala nag-set ako ng boundaries noon. Oo, pwede ko naman pala sila kausapin. Actually, in fact, ako, when you were sharing that, Coach, naalala ko, okay, good pala na ginawa ko to. Ay, dapat pala ginawa ko to noon, para to preserve our own health and to take care of our health as well, to be able to manage burnout before it happens. And also, I love po the advice that you gave po, sir, na kapag, nararamdaman natin na we're experiencing this na talaga, then we can seek professional help. We can go to counselors so that they can help us manage what we are experiencing right now. I know naman po na we can really all relate to this, and we are responding the best we can to a very abnormal situation. But you're right, sir. Tama po si Coach Phil na he said pandemic is a time to grow, and whenever we meet people in this new setting, we are growing, and then we are learning we are relearning even to understand our boundaries and to expand them or to learn how to limit. Ganyan po. So, once again, if you have any questions and insights, share nyo lang po yan. I love na tayo po ay nag-agree at ang ganda po ng inyong feedback sa ating chat room. If may mga questions po tayo, feel free to put them in. And also, Sir Miyo is also here, and I'm sure he can relate. If my questions din actually si Sir Miyo, he's also here. You can ask Coach Phil mismo right now. And in fact, I think we can get started. Ay, Coach, meron po akong ibibigay na question po for you from someone who wrote this sa ating comment section. Okay? Sabi po niya, as part daw po of self-care kanina na binanggit, paano daw po kaya ma-achieve ng isang taong hindi naniniwala sa religion yung spiritual restoration?
Yan, magandang tanong. Spiritual restoration, ano? Okay, now, as part of our constitution, tsaka ng batas natin, may kalayaan ng tao maniwala sa kanyang paraan, sa magkaroon ng sarili niyang paniniwala at pananampalataya. Nasa batas natin yun, ano? So, kung maniniwala siyang may Diyos o wala, meron siyang freedom na gawin yun. Now, I'm gonna talk to you as a counselor. As a counselor, may mga pagkakataon, may mga tao talagang hirap na hirap sa kanilang buhay at ang tanging paraan para sila ay medyo makahango ay yung maniwala na mayroong Diyos. It's always so difficult dahil kasi kung ayaw niya maniwala, hindi ko matutulungan, hindi ko magawa ng paraan yun. But here's the thing, noong nangyari yung Typhoon Haiyan, which is yung nangyari sa Tacloban in Yolanda back in 2013, I think. So, nagkaroon ng bagyo, hindi naman yung psychological assistance ang nakapag-recover sa kanila. Hindi rin yung ayuda, hindi rin yung government assistance ang talagang tunay na nakapag-recover. But basically, it's the hope that they had. And most of the hope that they got it from is from the faith that they carried. I cannot force anyone to believe in a certain faith. I cannot force anyone to believe in a certain religion, no. But I can ask a person to at least have some source of hope. What can you hope for in times of crisis? Some of you might hope for money. So if they hope for money, allow them to help them with money. If they hope for finance or business, allow them hope for business. If they want to hope for personal ganda para gumanda sila, maayos na yung pag-asa nila basta maganda sila, okay na. Go ahead. Ganun gusto nila. And when they need to hope on something spiritual, they will ask you. They'll ask you, is there any other way that I can do this? So if you're asking, that's the time I say, ito, may isa pang alternative. You can believe in a certain faith, a religion. Believe in God. If you don't believe in God, maybe you can believe that there are existential themes in your life. Bakit ka andito? Meron ka mga bagay na purpose. Ano yung mga dahilan andito ka? Kung sakasakaling lahat ng ito ay mawala, ano yung pinakamahalaga matitira sa iyo? At doon maiisip dito sa kulturang Pilipino, hindi ko nilalat ng kultura, kundi kulturang Pilipino, sa atin taglay-taglay natin yung kultura na mayroong kaluluwa ang mga tao. Kaya nga meron tayong kultura kung tawagin, may mga taong halang ang kaluluwa, may mga taong walang kaluluwa, may mga taong yung kaluluwa kung saan nanggaling, di ba? Ganun, meron tayong pagkakataon, pag-usapan yung kaluluwa at doon pumapasok yung spirituality. Pare may kaluluwa ka. Meron ka mga bagay na naiisip, nagagawa, hindi nanggaling yan sa drugs, hindi yan nanggaling doon sa pagkain kinain mo. Hindi rin yan nanggaling doon sa mga physical aspect. Pero pagka naintindihan mo na kaya mo ma-appreciate ng maganda, kaya mo makinig ng musika, kaya mong gumawa ng mga awit at nai-inspire ka, hindi nanggaling sa Big Bang Theory yon. Nanggaling yon doon sa kakayahan mong magkaroon ng kaluluwa. And that's where spirituality comes. Why is it that you can love? Love did not come from chemical things. It did not come from the Big Bang and then suddenly it evolved, there is love. Man was created, nanggaling sa bacteria, naging tadpole, naging isda, hito, gumapang, naging buhaya, then naging chongro, and then naging man. Then, come to think of it, how were you able to even sing and inspire someone? How can you create a poem that moves a person to suddenly love you? That's not from evolution. No. How can you create technology, something that makes something entertaining, kumbaga nag-a-advance ka, the mind becomes advanced. And how can it be possible that you've got memory? Memory is not something created by chemicals. Well, we do have cells, but memory is in our brain, in our mind, but it is the meaning is spiritual. What you remember, what does it mean? And that's something soul related. That's where you come to that point. Saan mag-iisip ng patungkol sa spiritual na bagay. You go and ponder on those things. And definitely when you find the chance na meron kang kaluluwa pala, makikita mo meron kang pwedeng gawin. Meron kang mga karapatan meron kang mga bagay na pagkakalikha sa iyo na hindi sadya, hindi tsamba lang yung pagkakagawa ng katawan mo. And it keeps on, your heart keeps beating on and it will inspire you and say, kahit pandemic, tumitibok puso mo. Bakit? Why does the sabi ng kanta, why does the sun go on shining? But it inspires you. It makes you go and see your life. Yeah. You start thinking spiritual things. Yeah.
Wow! Ang ganda po ng share ninyo, Sir Phil. Ang dami na po nating na-cover. Yung pagsagot sa ating very first question. And I'm sure nag-enjoy tayo dyan. In fact, ang dami po at ang ingay po ng ating comment section because they really appreciate what is happening now, what's going on in this webinar, and na-appreciate po nila yung ating pinag-uusapan ngayon. Kaya ang dami po, umuulan po ng positive feedback ang ating chat box. So maraming salamat for that. For you who are just tuned in right now, once again, kasama po natin dito si Coach Phil and si Mr. Miyo Briones. Tayo po ay here sa ating third installment ng PhilCare webinar series all about mental health. And what we're discussing po right now is how to charge your mental battery. So again, after this talk, right now we're having our live Q&A, and so feel free to share this because we all need this right now para ma-understand natin kung paano ba ang burnout and how to adjust really to the remote work setting. In fact, marami pa pong questions and I'm gonna bring this naman po para naman po kay Sir Miyo. Baka lang po kasi na-experience na rin po. And
Sure.
also, Coach Phil will also be able to answer here kasi you mentioned po in your talk assertiveness, di ba? The tamang assertiveness because nga Filipinos have the tendency nga po to just take in, di ba? Minsan nakukulangan tayo sa pag-assert ng ating mga boundaries, ganyan. So this question po is from Isa Durano. She is asking, how do you set boundaries or assert yourself when your boss works long hours? So yung boss nila mismo works long hours and even weekends. Kumbaga yung boss po niya hindi pa nag-set ng boundaries. The boss already made a declaration that our work now is not an 8-hour job because we provide service. So I would like to ask both Sir Miyo and Coach Phil for feedback regarding that. Sir Miyo, baka meron po kayong thoughts about that. Medyo tricky talaga to kasi boss mo yun eh. So
Yes. Yes, Kaki. Actually, talaga merong mga instances talaga, merong mga companies talaga nag-extend sila in such a way na minsan nag-24 hours pa nga ako naririnig na work talaga sila, shifting lang sila pero parang 24 hours talaga yung work nila And to be honest with you, may mga instances talaga rin na ako na naranasan na nagjo-juggle up ako sa work and sa personal life ko. Since ngayon napapansin naman natin na talagang pag sinabing work talaga, nag-overwork talaga tayo ngayon. Kasi hindi tayo nagsiset ng boundaries So I think if we're talking about boundaries, we could check out the policies of the company. Kasi for that, at least makikita nila na, ay sir, ito lang yung nandito sa policy natin, di ba? So I think we could, if you want to check into our policies ng company na yon, pwede lang erase yun na sir, hanggang dito lang yung kaya kong i-offer sa inyo kasi ito yung nandito sa policy natin. Right? Kasi may mga instances talaga na yung mga boss natin, talagang gusto nila matapos yung work. Kasi nagpa-pile up Pero kung yung sa policy naman, hindi siya effective, hindi siya tumutugma dun sa binibigay ni boss at hindi tumutugma dun sa policy na nandun sa HR natin sa isang company na yun, di ba? Parang nagkakasalungan tayo for that instances. Di ba? Dapat i-clear natin sa kanila, ano ba talaga yung policy natin for that OT o overtime? Meron ba, may makukuha ba tayo dyan over the long period? Or baka TY na lang tayo dyan all the time, di ba? Yun ang mahirap sa atin kasi as Filipinos, hilig natin mag-overtime pero TY. Yeah.
That's true.
Dami na.
Maraming salamat for that.
I admit, nag-TY din ako.
Lalo na ngayon, di ba, yung parang yung kusa na rin. Minsan nangyayari din talaga na kailangan
Yes,
di
agree.
ba?
Yes, oo.
Oo. So,
So dapat talaga if you want to, my advice would be learn to say no to your boss if talagang hindi na kaya. And also learn the art of offloading. Kung kaya naman ng ibang resources, ipasa mo sa iba or i-update natin yung process, i-simplify natin yung process para 'di ba, hindi lang ikaw yung pinapasahan ng trabaho, kundi sila rin is talagang natututo rin sila in a way, and also napapasa rin natin yung trabaho na ginagawa natin sa ibang tao na para natututo rin sila, diba? So that's for me.
thank you po. Thank you po, Sir Mio. And I'm sure, Coach Phil, meron po kayong madadagdag dyan.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Iba-iba kasi yung mga boss. Merong boss na consider nito. May mga boss na ayaw i-consider. Pero technically, kung babatayan mo sa labor code, ini-encourage talaga na sundin yung 8 hours work na dapat mong talagang i-follow. Yun, by labor code yun. Kahit wala dun sa policies ninyo, kailan mong i-follow yun. Kaya lang may mga trabaho talaga na ratratan, as in talagang matindi ang mga demands tulad ng nasa logistics, nasa delivery, yung mga lugar na, yung mga production and supply, mga ganyan. Lalo ngayon, bumabawi sa production. Ako, daming overtime ngayon.
Yes.
Dahil nagbubukas na uli ang economy, di ba? Kaya ang dami mag-overtime ngayon. With due consideration naman. Kasi kung kayo, pagka nag-meet kayo ng inyong managers, mapapag-usapan nyo kung ano yung konsiderasyon ng inyong tinitingnan eh. And they can give limits kung hanggang kailan po tayo mag-overtime lagi. So my suggestion ganito, dahil kung hindi nyo pa napapagkasunduan, during the next meeting, you can raise it up. Well, I don't know yung policy sa inyo. Baka ang policy sa inyo, binibigay yun dun sa feedback system ng inyong opisina. Baka na ipaparating yun sa pamamagitan ng HR. So whichever is possible, whichever is allowed by your company, edi gawin nyo through that. Another alternative is go to your next meeting and then discuss it with your manager so that you can come up with a compromise what is best for your schedules. Some of you might change your shift. Para lang may tao for the 24-hour, edi mag-change ng shift yung iba. O ikaw, mas convenient kasi magtrabaho ng night shift kasi sa umaga, gising yung mga anak mo, you can go and request for that and hindi masama. Now, kung merong attitude problem doon sa mga taong kasama mo, yun yung medyo mahirap na parte dahil pakiramdam mo, baka kapag nagsalita ako, baka balikan ako nito, baka tanggalin ako dahil supervisor ako. And that's where you know where your boundaries are and where are your values. Kapag ganon ang isang manager, kapag medyo lampas na sa kung ano yung policy, huwag ka naman magdemanda kagad. No? Hindi naman yun.
Ipapatulfo ba natin, Doc? Coach?
Pwedeng makipag-usap dahil nasa tamang linya ka. You can talk and that's when you assert yourself. You are within that boundary that says, yes, it's not wrong to speak. It's not wrong to communicate in a very amicable way, in a very reasonable way. It's not wrong. And yes, andun yung time na parang pakiramdam ko baka sigawan ka dahil kasi nagtatrabaho ka sa isang opisina kung saan ang kultura doon ay naninigaw, yung mga boss, mga ganun, which happens a lot in a certain firm. Okay, anyway, then you will find out that there are things that will be allowed by you, by law, by everything, and it's not wrong. And it's actually welcome, even for people with certain attitudes. Pwede. There's that alam niyo yung resiliency, makokontrol mo yung emosyon mo. Kahit kaharap mo, merong problema sa pakikipag-usap o may problema sa attitude, madaling magalit, for example, kahit kaharap mo ganun, meron kang capacity na ikalma yung damdamin mo, kaya mo makipag-usap ng reasonable, at hindi makasalanan yung ginagawa mo, hindi mali. And you can assert na, sir, hindi naman po, I'd like to talk to you, sir. Ganito, gusto niyo, sir, kape tayo, or what? Or you can do it with humor, you can do it with a very convenient, in a way na maganda yung timpla. You know, and you can do it. Yes. People are reasonable. It's a lot harder to speak to a gorilla than a person, really. Yeah.
Agree po ako dyan. Thank you very much for that, Sir Phil. And agree po ako din minsan, subukan lang po talaga rin natin na makipag-usap. And minsan baka nauunahan din tayo ng assumptions, and pwede rin po talaga natin makipag-usap and to express our need for boundaries sa ating boss. So I hope nakatulong po ito at makausap mo ang iyong boss, and ikaw ay makapag-set ng boundaries for you, and para tayo ay makapag-recharge properly, because we are so full of gadgets right now sa buhay natin. Ang dami natin na-charge, pero ang pinaka-importante na i-charge talaga ay ating sarili. Kaya I really hope na tayo ay magawa natin yan for ourselves, especially at this time. Sir, Coach Phil, itong follow-up question po ay dahil nabanggit niyo po ang resiliency, ibibigay ko po ito sa inyo, okay? And of course, Coach Miyo, Sir Miyo, puro coach. So, kapag kayo po ay, kung meron din po kayong feedback dito, ito po ay galing kay Alisa Viloria, feel free to share na rin po. Ang tanong po niya kasi is, when can you say that resiliency is toxic?
Okay. Now, siguro by definitions lang tayo mag-aano doon. Wala namang toxic sa isang resiliency, but probably rigidity or yung what do you call this? Kung masyado kang baw ng baw, yung baing mo sabihin siguro, baw ako ng baw, masyadong flexible. Hindi ba ako parang manhid na tao na hindi na naapektuhan ng mga bagay. Yeah, it might appear that way, that in being resilient, you are not becoming sensitive to your own needs anymore. That's why you balance it with boundaries and self-care. Okay? You have to balance it with self-care and with all those capacity of your mind. But here's the thing. Ang resiliency ay yung pagbangon mo. Nakakabalik ka sa normal. Pagka mayroong pangit nangyari, sige, tatablang ka, na nasasaktan ka, pero makakabalik ka, makaka-recover ka. Hindi yung na-stuck ka doon. Hindi yung depressed ka na, hindi ka na maka-move on from there. Resiliency is like you get back to your normal pace. It's like yung mga magic pillow ngayon na kung tawagin ay yung ang tawag doon, yung kapag merong memory foam na kung tawagin. Nababalok to, talaga, sira-sira yung lamukosan mo lang, pero it goes back to its same form. That's resiliency. Get back to your norm. Get back to your strength. Get back to your healing. Get back to where you're capable. Yun ang resiliency. Now, toxic na resiliency, I haven't heard of that. But probably you mean kung lagi ka na lang tanggap ng mga bagay na. No, that's not resiliency. That would be something you did not form boundaries there. So, hindi ko masabi kung kailan toxic ang resiliency. But then, kapag dumating yung point na hindi ka na makabalik, yung sobrang abuso na, now, that is already toxic. Toxic yung inaabuso ka. Toxic yung sobra-sobra ka ng pinahirapan, hindi ka na nakonsiderang buhay at human. The 4 things I told you are things that will make you more human. Kapag nasira yon, alam mong abuse na yon. Okay? Tinatanggap mo, nag-a-adjust ka. Pero kapag sobra-sobra, meron tayong threshold. Yun siguro yung sinasabi mong toxic dahil abusado na. Parang hindi na nakonsidera. You better go and seek help for proper institutions regarding that. Or if you feel na parang naabuso ka na, nasisigawan ka na, nasira na yung pagkatao mo dahil doon, tinolerate mo lang, hindi resiliency yun. Still, I ask you, heal so that you know the best action to take when that happens. Ang dami nung parameters na ko. I hope you could clarify further kung ano yung mga toxic situation na yun.
Yes.
Meron kami,
Ako coach, just to add lang, kasi since medyo na-enlighten naman ako sa sinabi nyo, siguro dun sa, medyo broad nga din yung question about resiliency, but I would say na if we talk about changes within the workplace, is dapat talaga adaptable tayo sa mga changes na yan. Pero tama nga si coach, dapat may boundaries and meron timeline tayong sinusunod. Hindi pwedeng tanggap lang tayo ng tanggap at pabago-bago lagi yung mga policies or yung mga changes na yon within the organization, di ba? Kasi medyo mas malilito yung mga employees natin kasi kung pabago-bago lagi and hindi definite yung objective natin para sa mga empleyado.
Ah, thank you. Thank you for that. And maraming salamat rin po, Coach Phil. And for your question, Alisa, maraming salamat. Ito naman po, this is also very, very helpful. Ito naman po ay from Ann Calibre. Ano naman po ang pwedeng gawin ng mga employers on their part to reduce burnout sa employees? I know kanina may nasabi na po si si Sir Miyo na you can consider na yung i-offload some of the employees from their work. So, if ano pa po yung pwedeng gawin ng ating mga employers para i-consider to? So, we can, Sir Miyo, baka meron kayong feedback for that one.
Sure. First and foremost siguro, let's reduce the stigma. Kasi kapag sinabi nating mental health, minsan abnormality siya, 'di ba? So as a employer or as a company or organization, dapat i-reduce natin 'yun and let's promote positive workplace to our employees kasi through that doon magsisimula ang lahat para matulungan natin yung mga empleyado natin na nahihirapan. Kasi not necessarily na meron ka mental health issue is, 'di ba, abnormal ka eh. Yun nga kasi being in a mental health state, ibig sabihin may stress ka or depressed within specific scenarios, right?
Yes.
So through that promoting positive workplace, syempre mape-prevent natin na magkaroon ng issue pa yung mga empleyado at ma-promote natin yung effectivity and productivity ng mga tao na ma-engage at makapagtrabaho ng maayos.
Oo. Tama po yan. Thank you very much, Sir Miyo. I agree with you kasi in fact, everyone has mental health. This is something that we experience. We're on different spectrums, but this is something that we have. And isang pong part dyan is to break the stigma na porket I don't have a condition, I don't have mental health. No, we all have mental health. We have bodies, we have brains, we have hearts, so we all have mental health. So we all have a role in taking care of it po. And so I would just like to add before we go to Coach Phil sa kanyang feedback for that one, advice para sa mga employers. I am an employer myself with my food business that is all about health. So what I did, and I know that a lot of my mga colleagues rin po na mga business owners, ang una po namin talagang ang una namin ginawa ay kinausap namin yung aming mga employees mismo because sila yung biggest asset in this time. Understanding, we let them know na kung ganito yung magiging situation, kung magkakaroon ng opportunity na dahil konti na lang ang mga employees, for example. So natural na mas maraming gagawin na trabaho. Kung natural na mag-change ang ating schedule, ano yung pinaka possible for their schedule at kung ano yung mga pinaka-workable na pwede nilang gawin at okay rin sa oras nila. Kasi yun na nga, meron tayong employees na yun, kailangan nilang tulungan yung mga anak nila sa school. So, meron din tayong employees na nagpaalam na I will also take this racket if okay lang because we need extra income. So, because of that, because nakakapag-usap tayo sa ating mga employees, nagkakaroon tayo ng mismong feedback. At minsan talagang yung employees yung magbibigay ng ideas na tipong, ma'am, this afternoon lang po ako hindi available. Pero kung kailangan niyo po at this time, kaya ko po itong sagutin. Kaya mukhang nagmamatch po yung schedule namin itong other employee. Okay lang po bang ito ang aking maging bagong schedule para nagsasaluhan kami? Because sometimes they will know what's best. So I think that will be my personal advice po sa mga employers is to talk to your employees because they will give you what you need, and if they know na inaalagaan mo rin sila, they're also gonna give their focused and productive time para sa company. And we all have to understand that we're all going through this together. Kaya magtutulungan tayo at pwede itong mangyari. Coach Phil, meron po ba kayong i-add doon?
Yeah, I guess nasabi nyo na lahat. Siguro, supportahan ko yung sinabi mo na makipag-usap. Kasi meron ngayon, yung mga managers, meron silang mga apps, systems, online, na mga ganun kung paano i-monitor. I guarantee you, i-check nyo muna sa mga empleyado ninyo dahil pwedeng magkaroon ng monitoring fatigue ang inyong mga empleyado. Yung monitoring fatigue, ito yung laging mayat maya, meron silang i-comply na para bang namomonitor sila na yung tiwala nawawala. Please understand, ng mga Pilipino ito, no? Malaking bagay yung pagkakaroon ng tiwala ng mga manager. So there are companies na who moved from daily production. Nag-move sila ng project-based. Ibig sabihin, ito'y assignment mo, basta pagdating ng huli, ito'y delivery. Ha? You know, this is a very important thing. The trust that you have to increase right now and the teammanship na nangyayari, yun yung mga important values na meron kayo dapat during this pandemic, during work from home. Kasi yun lang talaga ang pinakamahusay na paraan na madidevelop yung teammanship ninyo. Katunayan, gusto ng mga Pilipino, merong chismisan, may interaction na ganyan. Pagka computer lang, tsaka yung app lang ang kanyang kautang, alam mo yun, parang iba yung stress na dulot. Ganon, na hindi tao yung kanilang nire-reportan. So, the more interaction, the better. Pero please, minimize nyo naman yung meeting na baka na sobra na yung meeting, wala nang nagawa. And this is a common problem. Mas madami pang meeting kesa sa actual action. So, minimize that and then just concentrate on the salient things. Allow trust to happen and give a human touch in what you're doing. Yun mahalaga. Nung sa studies ng work from home, yung human touch ang nawala. Yun yung nagpa-stress. Yung dati kausap mo lang yung katabi mo lang yung opisina mo. Ngayon hindi mo katabi, wala kang makakachismisan, hindi ka makakuha ng opinion. Wala eh. Nung nawala yun, akala natin hindi maapekto nito ba? Pero ang laki-effect. You need human touch eh. Yun lang. Yun po.
That was so beautiful. Maraming salamat po for that insight. And napaka-importante po talaga yan. The human touch. It could be very challenging at minsan hindi rin natin napapansin na yun pala yung nawala. Ganun kasimple. And then I hope na magagawa po natin yan as we continue to move forward in the following weeks as we still deal with this whole setup. Meron din po akong idediretso ko na rin po sa inyo, Coach. Kasi ito po ay paulit-ulit po na lalagay sa ating comment section. So very, very important po ang kanyang question. Dahil overstressed na po siya. Ang tanong niya, if overstressed na po ako sa work at halos wala ng pahinga, okay lang po ba na mag-resign? Especially kung walang appreciation ang boss. After mag-sacrifice sa work, during this pandemic. In fact, na-diagnose na daw po siya with PCOS due to overstress. So yun po ang kanyang question. I guess nag-aano po siya talaga ng maybe our viewer already reached her limit, especially dahil na wala pang appreciation daw yung boss. So yun po yung question niya. Okay lang bang mag-resign? Wow. Okay. Baka naman sabihin kasi sinabi po ni Coach, mag-resign na. So let's take this tip very properly, okay po, sa ating nag-send po ng question. And Coach, take it away po.
Magandang tanong to, no? Oftentimes doon sa mga counselees na lumapit sa amin, resignation yung unang ipinipresent ang solusyon. Okay. I understand, ang pagkakaintindi ko yung sa PCOS, ito yung parang nagkakaroon na ng pagkakaiba yung body system mo.
Yes, hormonal imbalance po. Nagkakaroon.
Hormonal imbalances ka na at nagkakaroon ka na ng irregular menstruation, baka pati, alam nyo, okay, ang resignation laging naandyan. May karapatan ka mag-resign anytime na gusto mo, walang pwedeng magsabi sa'yo, walang pwedeng mag-decide na ikaw lang talaga. And I will not tell you to resign. I will not tell you not to resign. I don't know what your situation is, pero resignation is not the first option that you have. Now, you understand your body a lot more than I do. You understand your system a lot more, the factors that you need to consider. Mas alam mo yon kaysa sa akin. That's why you have a very creative mind. You have a very capable mind to know what to decide. Okay? Now, ito lang. Yung resignation, hindi siya yung unang solusyon na maiisip mo. The first thing you have to decide on is kung kakausapin mo yung boss mo para makita yung sitwasyon mo. I tell you, ito'y hinihiling ng batas sa labor code, hinihiling din ng corporation code na bawat isang tao ay matingnan yung kanilang well-being, kanilang health. At yung bagay na yan ay dapat makarating yung feedback dun sa boss mo. So yung una mong hakbang dapat ay makausap siya, masabi yung sitwasyon mo, maging malinaw sa inyong dalawa kung ano yung mga pwedeng gawin. Yun yung first step. Kapag yung first step na yun, maayos kayo, edi good. Hindi mo kailangan mag-sacrifice. Dahil nakaka-stress din ng walang trabaho. Yun. Then, kapag naman hindi naman naayos yun, nadidetermine mo kaagad, slowly, kung alin yung talagang hanggang sa mapunta ka sa resignation. So first, usap ka. Ikaw naman, pagka hindi ka mag-usap, get somebody, the HR, to intervene between you para makita yung actual situation. Yeah. Kaya hindi naman maano ng HR kapag hindi yun, pag nakita mo, get someone external na. Meron namang external mediation. External mediation which is coming from another institution. You don't have to go seek into lawsuit kagad na gano'n. Pero, and then when you come to that point na talagang morally, talagang hindi na talaga angkop para sa iyo, this is not part of your vision anymore. This is not, wala na to sa iyong pakay sa buhay mo. Yun, siguro maybe that's the time na you start reconsidering. Yun. But then again, kung magre-resign ka, iyo yan. It's your decision. It cannot be someone else's to do it. But there are so many possible ways to arrange it. I think mayroon siyang lack of appreciation, which is one of the factors na nakadagdag. Pero I was thinking, what if kung nagkaroon bigla? What if would that be the same thing? Kakaroon pareho. Ayun. Control lang. Again, iangkop mo yung emotion mo, i-modulate. Baka yung emotion ang matindi. Breakthrough. Talk to people. Get a negotiation skill. Go, you can do it.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po for that, Coach Phil. And I'm sure, I hope also na ikaw ay natulungan sa iyong concern. And I hope that you really understood and take into consideration yung advice po ni Coach Phil para sa atin. Alam niyo po, I am very thrilled kasi po kanina pa po rin ako tumitingin sa ating phone, sa ating chat box. True enough, this conversation is really something that everyone is, I don't want to say enjoying, okay? But really, I guess it really struck a chord because it has been very active online. And a lot of our viewers have been sharing their experiences, their feedback, their comments, mga sarili nilang na-experience sa kanilang workplace. And maraming salamat for that. And I hope that your sharing within our chat online community is also helping you deal with your problems and deal with the current situation that you have at your work. In fact, we are already over time and we are very, very thankful na hanggang ngayon and you are really here appreciating the topic that we offered for you. And now that was the last question po, and in fact, marami rin pong shinare kanina si Coach Phil. If you weren't able to see his talk earlier, after this will be posted here. This is for free in our PhilCare Facebook page. You can share away and pwede nyo po siyang panoorin ulit-ulit para mas maipasok pa natin sa ating puso at isipan ang mga shinare po ni Coach kanina. And so, we really hope that this episode has shed some light sa inyong lahat. Before we proceed with closing this very active and very informative episode, I would like to invite po Sir Miyo, kung meron po tayong a few words of wisdom to impart as we close sa ating mga viewers at to invite them na rin po sa ating blog at kung ano pa po ang ating ginagawa right now.
Sige po. Okay, so actually I have a good time listening with Coach and how he enlightened us on handling this kind of rising issues on our mental health amongst working class Filipinos, di ba? Lalo na yung sinabi niya or yung part na sinabi niya na it's okay not to be okay sometimes, but make sure pag hindi na talaga kaya, di ba, seek counseling. And I would say my advice would be learn to balance out work and personal life. Learn to create an action plan. And in terms of work, you may set up a reminder or a time to manage your time furthermore. Take a break, have a vacation in your usual work. If you feel like you were overwhelmed with your tasks already, just learn to say no and learn the art of offloading, di ba? Yung nga sinabi ko. And also, in a personal aspect naman, do self-care, like nung sinabi ni Coach. Exercise, meditate, and also find something to adapt your life skills like cooking, vlogging, planting, or enroll on an online course. And lastly, I'm encouraging the employers to help out our employees by improving and mitigating this kind of mental health issues through their policies within the organization. Since employees is our bloodline sa mga companies and businesses. So again, thank you so much for inviting me on this webinar. And don't forget to follow me on my social media accounts, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search TakeOffPhilippines and add me up. Let's be friends. Search me on Miyo Jr. So maraming salamat again, Coach Phil and Miss Kaki.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Miyo. And truly, we look forward to connecting with you again sa iyong social media pages. And so I'm sure a lot of us were very enlightened sa mga binahagi po ni Coach Phil. And so Coach, if they would like to get in touch with you, if they would like to continue to listen, at saan nila po kayo pwedeng abangan, pakinggan, feel free to invite po our viewers.
Thank you very much. Kami po ay nagko-conduct ng counseling sa Maygolana. You can check us out at maygolana.net. That's where you can make appointments for counseling. Now, you want to know more about us, we have our Facebook page, which is Maygolana at Facebook. And all these things are created para you can inquire, you can find out what services that we can give you. We do counseling services, we do corporate services, we do individual services also. So please do check it out and we would like to help you. I'm also being found on Heartline every Friday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. 702 DZAS AM radio. Also, to all of you who are in need, just contact us. We have our emails in Maygolana and everything. We'll be there to help out. Yeah.
Maraming salamat po, and we look forward to getting in touch with you again din po. And all the best po, Coach Phil. We really hope also that I know you're in counseling and you're dealing with people's problems. So on our end, we really hope also that you are able to set boundaries and to also find ways to relax during this time. And muli, maraming salamat po for joining us. And guys, ko pong imbitahin ang ating mga viewers na bigyan po ng palakpakan from your homes, sina Coach, saka sina Sir Miyo, for all of their insight this afternoon. And maraming salamat po ulit, Coach Phil and Sir Miyo Briones, for giving us their time and sharing their expertise on working smart and relaxing much harder amid the work from home reality. At of course, maraming salamat sa inyo, aming mga viewers who stayed with us for this episode, who have shared, who have asked their questions. This is for you. So really, we're very happy that we're able to help you out during this time. And for those of you po who have mental health related concerns that we weren't able to address live, you may still shoot us an email. Send us an email po at mindcare@philcare.com.ph. Again, mindcare@philcare.com.ph. Yan po ang nasa inyong mga screens. And we will answer your concerns for free. Okay? So we look forward to receiving your emails. And also, please like and share this with your friends who weren't able to watch the episode real time. Now, join us again next week for our final mental health webinar episode, because we will be focusing on this time we're gonna be focusing on the growing concern that we have among millennials right now, which is depression and suicide. A new mind care counselor and panel expert will cast light on the less talked about concerns about this topic, such as unhealthy coping mechanisms, lack of access to formal treatments and resources, and more. So muli, tune in to our FB Live, and next week, that will be October 28th, same time, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Maraming salamat po. Once again, I am your host, Kaki Teodoro. I wish you all to stay safe and be healthy. Maraming salamat po.